You both swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name.
Richard Downey, 194-01C, Department 1C, 64th Circle, Fresh Meadows, New York, 11364. Yes. House went into foreclosure because,
Today's court hearing, will you be representing yourself or are you
That's correct.
trying to consult and hire your own attorney?
representing myself.
Now, give me your address again, sir.
That's the support address.
194-01C.
You see how they gotta update their information so they can keep stealing money from me?
64th Circle, Fresh Meadows, New York, 11365.
11365.
Correct.
Recorded November 4, 2013.
You're representing and not your pro se, sir, and not seeking any consult an attorney?
No, I don't need it.
Understand that whatever decisions will be made by
This court has no jurisdiction over this matter.
That's how you say that?
Why? Because we have a court order on record. This is not a paternity suit. Court order on record is the Supreme Court order. This venue can only change upon a change of circumstances. There's no change of circumstances in this matter. This court has no, if it is a court, I don't believe it's a court, this hearing has no jurisdiction. Supreme Court has jurisdiction over this matter.
So did you move this to Supreme Court, sir?
I don't have to.
That is something which I think you are in error, because the Supreme Court in its decision gives the family court the current jurisdiction on any matters.
No, not any matter. The New York State Constitution states that the family court only has matters of paternity, criminal matters, and dealing with juveniles, and paternity issues.
Not support, sir?
Only support upon a change of circumstance.
So what does that mean?
What does that mean? That means that, no. We have a support agreement already. We're married and support legally.
That's the reason I keep asking you that if you want an attorney.
I don't need an attorney. Ma'am, I understand everything, trust me.
Okay. Let's proceed.
No, I have to speak loudly because there's been an issue with the tape recordings here.
No, you can speak.
No,
You're speaking fine, just don't speak
I know.
at the same time.
That's the court officer they gotta interrupt because they're so stupid. What happened there was, I wing it when I go on there. So what happened was I told her there was no jurisdiction, and and you see what she does. She doesn't answer any questions, and she's like, she doesn't. And she keeps her voice very low on purpose. She doesn't want to be heard because I caught them changing the testimony, not changing the testimony, like leaving out testimony on the transcripts. And then they got this dingbat court officer in there who, I tell you, I have no respect for court officers. I don't care if any court officers listen to this. I have no respect for court officers, none whatsoever. They're buffoons. And when you hear me interacting with some of them later on, you're going to understand why, because they're buffoons. All of this stuff is being done right in front of them. So they're making them a party to it. God, I mean, it would probably never happen because the government's in on this. But if they would ever uncover all this corruption that's going on in family court, like if we had like an honorable federal prosecutor who would go in there, these guys would be in serious trouble. So anyway, what happens is, I didn't know I was going to do this, but I started asking her. I go, "Is this your name here?" I started pointing at the document I showed earlier in the video, and it just dawned on me. I'm like, "This is a forgery." And remember when I said earlier, I go, "I don't even believe this is a court," because they didn't. I used to go to a court. I used to be a police officer. I used to go to court a lot. I used to make a lot of arrests. So when you watch the show Law and Order, I did that literally. I used to walk around those halls, and the Manhattan DA's office is a very good office. I learned a lot about being a police officer there. I learned a lot about the law. So I'm very familiar with the law. So like I was like, this is not operating like any court that I'm familiar with. Anyway, let's continue with this buffoonery.
Ma'am, can I ask you a question? Is this your signature?
Yes.
Okay. Is this an order?
What does that say, sir?
Is that an order?
What does it say?
Are you a judge?
What does it say?
Are you a judge?
I'm a magistrate.
But you're not a judge.
No.
This is a forgery. Don't. It's a forgery. It's purporting to be a legal document. It's not legal. Without a signature, from a judge, it has no legal standing. I got it right here. You want to read it here? You should know your job. Your job says that without a confirmation from a judge, any order you issue has no legal grounds, has no legal standing, meaning that it's null and void. You sent this, no, ma'am, you sent this to child support before sending it to a judge. Your actions has caused my house to go into foreclosure, my credit to be destroyed. I was indigent for the months of March, April, May, and June.
Sir, you filed an objection, right?
Yeah,
filed an objection.
and I got a review where the arrears were vacated after you assessed $12,000.
Increase the arrears.
You're not allowed to. You're allowed to issue.
You said something wrong with it.
Now, I don't know what happened there. This goes silent for about a minute. I think they have some kind of technology in it because I tried to record another time and I didn't pick up anything. I think they have some type of magnets in there or something. They're very slick. These rooms are very small also. They're tiny. So you're not allowed to bring anybody in there. And they got a couple of women that are in there with her. I think one of them is handling the recording. But yeah, it's going to pick up in a little while. It's going to be like, you're going to hear me going crazy. But because this woman doesn't answer any questions. She's a really vicious woman. All you got to do is listen to the tone of her voice. I believe this woman's a psychopath. I really believe so. Because to do what she did to me, and she saw that I was paying.
Well, you know what? She's disrespectful to me.
This is me talking to the court officers. They're telling me to be respectful to this woman.
Tired, right? Made over 100 arrests. I know the law. Me too. Here, can you give this to the judge so she's aware of
By the way,
Constitution?
Here they removed me from the room. That's what happened. Every time I start bringing up stuff that really that they don't want on the recording, they throw me out of the room. So here, they have them waiting for me. By the way, I mean they have like a bunch of guys standing by whenever I'm in the room. So what happened here is when the recording picked up, I was already out. They already and then this happened on June 7, 2012, when she first did this to me. When she first ordered my support to be paid through child support. I was paying my ex-wife directly. I used to drop the check off every 2 weeks. I have a stack of checks, which makes it operation of law, by the way. So this criminal, I went in there on June 7th. I went in there without an attorney, and that's when she did this to me. Now that's not a coincidence. I went in there 5 times with attorneys, 3 different attorneys. They were all zeros. They didn't do anything. That's when I realized it was a fraud. So on June 7th, I said, well, you don't have a change of circumstances here. Like, you need a 15% change. If it's a child support order, forget about it. If it's a stipulation, a settlement, they have no jurisdiction at all. But even if it's one of their orders, it has to be a change of circumstances. So I brought this up, and then they threw me out of the room, claiming I was being disrespectful. And then she leaves my ex-wife and her attorney in there, and I believe he's getting paid by the feds as well, because he's the one that pushed her. They weren't pushing for me to pay through the child support. I was still making the payments, and he talked her into it. So I believe he's one of them Title 4D attorneys. So he's double dipping. He's a real scuzzy guy. His name is Martin Pollack. He's a Pollak. He's a scuzzy guy. Like this guy, he deserves to get hurt. It ain't gonna be from me. He's got to face God one day. But when they were working out a deal when I wasn't even in the room. So here it starts again when I'm like, well, you make sure they leave the room.
I got a copy. She has a copy of everything. She has about 30 copies. This is the 10th hearing on this matter, officer. 11. So again, it's,
Oh, I'm still in there. She just ignores me. She's talking to her attorney.
Respectfully, we always wanted to go back to the
I
case.
understand, we had that
And
conversation.
you had said on the record that you were.
By the way, he does all the testifying. He's an attorney. That's unsworn testimony. That's forbidden. Okay. There's a famous. There's a good case law where all testimony by attorneys is not facts before the court. So everything he's saying right there, just picture me editing out everything he's saying because it doesn't count. He has no evidence. There's not a shred of evidence entered on his matter. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop this video right now, and I'm going to do a part 2 because I'm going to run out of space on my phone. All right, we're at 11 minutes. But you heard me ask this criminal if it's in order, and she wouldn't answer my question. Simple question: is this an order? But it's really not an order. It's a support order. A court order is a completely different thing, and she knew it. And I caught her.